and take two. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be part 3. Oh gosh, I think it's part 3. I'm having to refilm this one because I filmed this last night, and then when I was looking back at the footage, I didn't sound coherent. Like it wasn't making much sense. I really wanted to keep filming these videos, but it was after a long Monday after work, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be filming late Monday nights for a little while, just because it was kind of crazy. It's been a crazy week at work, and it's only Tuesday, so if that tells you anything. So I filmed this, I talked about it, but it didn't really. I didn't feel like I was. I'm even lost at words right now, but it was just really not the quality and kind of not a lot of what I wanted to say. So we're gonna try this again and go through these decks. So these are the ones that I chose to go through for this video. A lot of them, actually all of these, I have not worked with. So that was kind of, and there's a couple more that I haven't worked with, but I want to keep those in my collection. I just didn't want to have to go through, didn't want to make it too long. So these are going to be a part of this video. Without me rambling in any further, let's get started. Okay, so the first deck we'll start with is the Solaris Tarot by Alethian. I found this on Instagram. This was, I don't know if it has a date, but like 2020, 2019, 20, I think more 2020 going into 2021. Honestly, trying to think of where I lived at the time when I got this, and I think it was 2020 going into 2021. But this is a deck that I got. I have not worked with. I've looked through it. It's a deck that I was starting to collect decks that reminded me of people in my life or kind of core memories. And this deck is sort of like a core memory type of deck. It is a Star Wars themed deck. As you can tell, has like the rebel and the lightsaber. But so it has the moon phases on the side of the box, and it is major and minor arcana with Rider Waite symbolism. So, and it is art that it is from, I think it starts, so it is kind of, okay, now I'm getting into the whole, like, I don't know how to explain it. But it is Reylo, like if you're part of, Star Wars fandom, when like Rebel One came out and everything, that's kind of where a lot of, there's characters from Rebel One, some older characters, some classic characters, but it revolves around a lot of like the Reylo fandom, if that makes sense. I didn't necessarily get it for that purpose. I actually didn't really realize that it was heavily like that in the majors. So this was like an extra card art. So it has the gold foiling, and it's super, I think it's really cute. I really like the artist's art style, which is why I got the deck initially. Also because it's Star Wars themed, and at the time I don't really think there was a lot, if any, that I really noticed of Star Wars themed decks. Star Wars, I grew up watching it. I'm not like a super fan of Star Wars. Like, I don't know absolutely everything about it, but it was something that in our household, my brother and I, one thing that we could agree to watch, because there wasn't a whole lot that we could agree on, but watching Star Wars was always something that we did. My dad was a big Star Wars fan, so it is very much symbolic to my childhood. So these are the backs, and it is a matte finish, but the cards aren't as like stiff comparatively to like the Gentle Tarot, which is a matte petal finish. But these ones aren't as thick. They don't feel as thick. And it has a gold edging. I have not worked with it, but I have flipped through it. So I won't I probably won't flip through all of them, but I'll do at least the majors so you can see kind of what characters they chose. I love this Emperor Empress, Anakin with Padme, like so good. So the lovers is Reylo, and then you have some of the Rebel One characters that were introduced, and then you have so yeah, it just is a really Han Solo is the hangman, death. I really like this Temperance as well. So I am rusty on characters, but I really, really like this deck. This is one that will probably stay in my collection. I don't really know if I'll ever part with it. I haven't read with it. I might want to. I'm not sure. But that is the majors, and the minors are all pips. So when I filmed this last night, I like couldn't really tell the color difference, but so the cups, so they're all pips, and then when you get to the court cards, they are characters, but they're just outlines of characters. And so the cups are black. Pentacles have like a green color. And these are the pips that they are. And then I'm trying to get to the courts. So then you have R2D2, C3PO. Some of those characters I know him, I just can't think of his name. I cannot think of her name. But these are green, and then the swords are lightsabers, which is really fun. And they're kind of like a red color. So you got Darth Maul, Darth Vader for the swords, and then wands are they look black, but maybe they're kind of like a deep purple. Kind of hard for me to tell. But we have the Page of Wands. Oh, where is Chewbacca? Knight of Wands. And then we have Queen, and then we have King of Wands, which is Yoda. So this is just a fun kind of fandom deck of Star Wars. I don't know if this is still like if the artist still sells this or anything like that. Like I said, I got it, I think I found it on Instagram back in the day and really liked the art style. Got it. It doesn't come with a guidebook, which I wish it did. I think since it is Star Wars themed, having a guidebook to go with it, and how I think it could have been a really fun thing to do. I know it's probably extra work, and I don't know if the artist does any other tarot stuff, but I think a guidebook would have been really cool. Really cool with this. But this is the Solaris Tarot by Alethian. I'll leave. Seems like they have. I'll check their Instagram and put it down in the description box below. Like I said, I'm not sure if they're still selling this or anything like that, but I'll leave their information down below. Next one I have is the Dame Darcy Queen Alice Tarot. I have not worked with this. I've shuffled it, but I have not read with it or anything like that. This purchase. When I was first getting into tarot, Dame Darcy, her mermaid tarot was like everywhere. People like, and I love her art style. So the mermaid tarot is similar art style. Obviously, the coloration will be different than the Alice tarot, but her art was everywhere. And I don't resonate with mermaids, or I don't really have a lot of like ocean theme. I don't really think I have any ocean theme deck really, unless it just like so happens to be more nature with some ocean. But generally it's either nature, maybe some animals, but not really anything like mermaids or stuff. So when this came out, everyone was, it was very popular. And I think there's so many different variations of like an Alice in Wonderland themed deck. And a lot of people were, for me, this was like a FOMO purchase. Like I wanted to be part of like this, having an Alice in Wonderland themed. This is when I first started reading tarot. So, it's just one of those things. I just wanted to like be like everyone else in the beginning. But I have not read with it. It doesn't come with a guidebook. I know it's more Rider-Waite Smith based, but with Alice in Wonderland themes to it. But it's just not one that I ever picked up. I flipped through it because it's not in order. I don't really think I might have hand over hand shuffled it, but I think that's the extent of it. But this just this is one that I will be rehoming just because I don't read with it. I don't have any like um sentimentalness to Alice in Wonderland. And for anyone who would want this deck, I would much rather have it to someone who either loves Dame Darcy and her artwork and or is really fond of Alice in Wonderland. So this will be one that I will be rehoming as I just haven't used it at all. But it's a nice card stock. It's like, I like the cards. They have some structure to them, but they shuffle really well. They're a little bit, they spread out really nicely. So they're not really super glossy, but they have that gloss. And then it has like a silver foil gild to it. But yeah, I don't read with this. I have not used it. It is just, sitting in my collection, but it's not something I am drawn to ever use. So I will be putting this in the rehome pile. I don't think this is in print anymore. I'm not sure. I know I got it off her Etsy shop, so I'll put that in the description below. And yeah, but I don't know if this is actually in print anymore. But that is the Queen Alice Tarot. Next deck I have is just a fun deck. This is a for fun deck for me. This is the Golden Girls Tarot, and the quality of this is not great. It is very much it's just one of those like gimmicky type of decks. Like it's very cardboardy, so if it gets bent, it will stay bent type of thing. Like the cardstock's not great, but I love the Golden Girls. That's like the one show that I could just put on, have it be in the background. We'll watch reruns anytime they're on. Like, I mean, when I used to have cable. I don't have cable now, just the streaming services, but I do love watching this. Love watching the Golden Girls. His toupee. Like it's just such a fun show. Classic for sure. And so when this came out, I was like, yes, absolutely. Like I would love this. But um I don't think there's I don't know if there's been another Golden Girls tarot deck, one that if there is another one and the card stock quality is better, then I would get that one in a heartbeat, just because I would like to use it for like for some fun readings. But since the card stock is not great, I have not used this to read at all. But this was just one because I love the Golden Girls, so this is in my collection for that. These are the backs. But yeah, this is just a fun, silly deck. Because I think this was one of the first decks that I got that was very like kind of pop culture themed before my Alice deck, really. But this one was a little bit more pop culture-y. Yeah, so this is the Golden Girls Tarot. if I find one that is better quality, this will be in the rehome pile, but for now it is still in my collection. So there's that one. Next one is the Alcaringa Orion Mancy deck. I'm just now realizing that this is actually an oracle. I thought this was a tarot for some reason, but I have not used it. I think I've shuffled through it, but I have not actually used it. It's been moved around and everything, so the box is a little dirty. But I got this. This is by Stephanie Aaliyah, and then illustration is by Daniela Effie. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing all of that, but this one I think is like dream based. It's like a dream based oracle. Let's see. So this deck was inspired by my experiences with dream work and healing. The cards can be used in any format. So they use like a nine card spread. It has reversals. It has all the cards, the title, and then description, and then what the reversal would mean. And then in the back there are some spreads and samples that you could do. So these are the backs. So I found this on Instagram, and I think I got it. Was it I don't think it was a Kickstarter. I don't know if I just got it like if there was like an Etsy shop. I forget because this was years ago. But the art style is something that it didn't have in my collection, especially at the time. And I don't think I have anything like this currently either. But I really love the coloring of it, the art style I really like. I just never got around to actually using it. So I might want to try and pair it with either like the Four Quartz Tarot, or I have the Star Spinner Tarot. It's the coloring, I think, would match well with those. But yeah, this art style I think is just really fun, and it's different than anything I have in my collection. I just really need to bring it out and try doing some like readings with it. But I like it. It's very different. And especially for dreams, I'm not sure how many other like oracles there are out there. I'm sure there are, but I feel like this one is very, very unique. So yeah, this is the Alcaringa, the Orion Mancy deck, and it has like a little holographic gilding on the sides. The cardstock it's a matte, but it's not like a petal mat, I guess. And then the cardstock is a little bit thicker, so it has some nice structure to it. But yeah, this is the Alcaringa Orion Mancy deck. So this one will stay in my collection for now. I do want to do some readings with it and see how I get on with it, and see if I compare it with another deck, a tarot deck of mine, and see where it goes. All right, the next two in my collection, I have them together. This is also another oracle, so those two should have been in my oracle video. And I know I have one more oracle deck that I forgot about that also should have been in that video, but here we are. So these are by James R. Reeds, or Eads. James R. Eads. I always want to say James R. Reeds because it's James R. Eads. My apologies. So this is the Prisma Vision Tarot. This is the 6th edition. I got this in 2020. I got this version, I got this edition when I backed the Cosmic Visions Oracle on Kickstarter. So this is the 1st edition, and then I was able to do add-on. I got the blue version rather than, I know there's a red version, like red coloring. I don't know if it's like sepia technically. I don't remember. But I got this and I have not worked with it. It's another one I haven't worked with. But it's one that I do want to work with. So I want to make sure at some point I can put this on my list to work with next. But this one, the art, truly, it's like holding mini art pieces like in your hand, just because. So the majors are really, really great art as well. I won't do a full flip through. These are very, very popular decks. If you want me to, I can definitely do like a separate video for that. But what really drew me to getting his deck specifically is when it comes the um, to the suits, is how it's very like it becomes a panoramic. So for all like the suits. So this is the Ace of Chalices, the Two of Chalices. I'll put this in view. So Ace of Chalices connects with the Two of Chalices, and then the Two of Chalices connects with the Three of Chalices. And I just think it's like art within art, like to have it really connect like this is so beautiful. It's so stunning. So that really is what drew me to it, because there's not a lot of decks that sort of incorporate that. And all the suits, kind of do that with each other, like how that does. But yeah, I don't know. I just really, really, really love this deck. I still love the artwork, so I just haven't used it. And then there's some extra cards as well, like bonus cards that you can use and put in. So it's like a matte finish, but it's kind of, I don't know, they don't stick with each other. I'm not really sure what like the specifics of it all. I'm really bad at that. But the sides have the silver gilding, and then these are the backs. It almost could be reversible, but I guess you can kind of tell that the eye is upside down in a way. But yeah, so this is the Prisma Visions Tarot. I believe you can still get these. I don't know what edition he's up to now, because I got this in 2020. So this is the 6th edition. So, but his stuff is just, I don't know. I just think it's so cool. It's incredible. The artwork is amazing. Comes with like a little guidebook. I know with the Cosmic Visions, there is a bigger, more in-depth book, like hardcover book that I got with it, but I currently don't know where I have it. It's somewhere in my apartment in a box probably that I just haven't unpacked yet. So I know it went with this, and I got a bunch of goodies with it as well. I think I did like, I don't know if I did like an unboxing of all of this. I know on my Instagram I showed it. So when I first got it, because I got a bunch of add-ons with it and everything. But yeah, so the guidebook, so it has like the title of the card, and then a couple paragraphs of it. And then I think when it comes, so when it comes to the beginning of a new suit, so it has like the title of the suit, key phrases, like a quote, the element, what season it is, and what zodiac signs are associated with that. So I find that to be really cool. And then let's see, there are some spreads that you can do. So they offer some spreads. But this has been, he is a very popular, like his decks are very popular on Kickstarter. They do extremely well. I think when this came out, the Cosmic Visions, it was funded within like, I think within a day. Like it was so quick, because these had already been out, his Prisma Visions ones. And so then when this came along, it just, if you've got his deck before, when this came out, you kind of knew what to expect quality wise and everything. So yeah, but this is the Oracle, and on the back it does show like the different, like how the panorama is, and I just love that so much. But this is the first edition, which is so cool. I don't think I ever have gotten like a first edition of a deck ever besides this. Maybe with some of my Kickstarters, but to have something like this where it just seems like just art, like I have a first edition of artwork. I don't know. That sounds kind of silly, but to me, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. These are the backs, and I think these ones can kind of be, and not really reversible because of the yellow, but it's funny how the eye just keeps following you. And they're gilded with like a deep purpley blue, I think that's the color because it kind of looks purpley there. But yeah, same quality of cardstock, I believe, with those. But this one, since it's an oracle, it is set up sort of like a tarot though, because there's numberings to them, and then it gets into kind of like the suits as well, but it's oracle based. So it's also something completely different than what I've ever had as an oracle as well. So that was really intriguing to me. But like I said, these two decks, I haven't worked with them yet. But they're ones that will definitely be staying in my collection just because the art of the cards alone is just incredible. So then this is the guidebook. It's very similar to the Prisma Visions guidebook. It has the spreads and then card meetings. So then it has the major arcana and then a lot of like different symbols, I think, when it comes to which, like the artwork of the card. So then it has a mirror card, which is the Fool, and then it's new beginnings, second chances, like a little paragraph, and then kind of like maybe like in the story or just describing, and then another paragraph for the actual reading. And so it does that through the whole thing. So it has a mirror. So with these cards, there's a mirror card that goes with it. So like 7 of lotuses, the mirror card is 7 of chalices, and then it has kind of like some keywords to it. So yeah, I am really love these decks. They won't be ever leaving my collection, but I just need to bring them out and actually work with them. Let's do this one first. This one will be a quick one. So this is the Coloring Tarot. I got this as a gift from my friends, which is very, very sweet. They know I really enjoy tarot cards. And this one is a fun little, like, you just create, it's like you can create your own tarot deck. Let me try and get this out. I haven't opened it yet because I want to do sort of like, I don't know what kind of coloring I want to do for these cards, but I think it would be a fun little art project as like a calming, kind of almost therapeutic, meditative type of thing to color these. I'm not sure what kind of art style I want to do, but yeah, so the cards are just come like this. I have it still wrapped because I haven't opened them, but these are what the backs look like. I think they got this at like Barnes & Noble, so it is mass market, but it comes with kind of like a guide of the different types of like coloring you can do for it, which is nice. And then it has a nice chunky guidebook too. It talks about reversals, different color, I think depending on like how you want to color it, I think. Yeah, the basics of color magic. And then red, orange, and then it talks about like the day of the week, the planet that it's associated with, the element, which I didn't know that. That's really interesting. Some colors have an element. Well, blue, water, that makes sense. Purple doesn't. But yeah, and then different types of coloring, I guess utensils or tools you can use for it. And then it goes into the cards, and it looks like it just is Okay, so you can do the reversals, but it just has the number, the title, and then a paragraph on it, and then a paragraph on reversals as well. So no like key phrases or anything. So yeah, so this is the Coloring Tarot. Like I said, this is one that I'll keep in my collection as something, as like a fun little art project to do. And my friends gave it to me, so it would be nice to bring it out and use it and color it and decorate it myself. So yeah, that's the Coloring Tarot. Last one for this video. This one is one I know I'm going to be rehoming because I haven't really ever looked at it to be honest. Definitely going to be rehoming this just because I haven't opened it. I haven't looked at it. It's been living in its deck pouch. Unfortunately, it has gotten bent, but yeah, this is the Fender deck. This is by Leah Pantia. This was in 2019 when I got this. I saw this on Instagram. I saw the artwork that she was making for this deck. And one card in specific, like in particular, was why I wanted to get this deck. But I got it when I ordered it. I think it was, I can't remember if it was Kickstarter. It might have been Kickstarter. And when I ordered it, it came with that art card, like as like a little mini poster thing. And so I was like, oh, perfect. I got that art that I wanted, but I haven't ever used the deck at all. I like the art. I do like the artwork. It is, kind of lines and watercolor. I love, love, love watercolor art particularly, and I just think it is beautiful. But I have not I haven't used this. I haven't, like, I've opened it to like flip through it a few times. I have not shuffled it. Like I love the art of like the Wheel of Fortune. I think it's so pretty. But I just don't feel drawn to use this deck. Like the Hanged is really pretty. But it was the Death card is what got me wanting this deck because I love this depiction of the Death card. But this came as a little extra art piece, and so I have this. So I have it as an art piece now, but I just don't reach for the deck to read at all. So I do think it's time for me to rehome it, and hopefully someone else will be able to enjoy it in the purpose that it's meant to be enjoyed. So, but it is a pip deck when it comes to the elements or like the different other suits. So, and then it has like faces for the court cards, but everything else is all pip. So, yeah, so I just feel bad that I have not used this. The cardstock is lovely. It is a very petal. This one's more petal matte finish, and it's a nice thick. It's a good thick quality, and then it's matte, like yellow gold gilding on the side, and then it does come with a guidebook that has spreads. I think this one also does numerology as well. So it talks about reversals, what the court cards represent. Oh yeah, numerology. So it uses numerology in it as well, which I don't use personally, but and then it talks about the different zodiac signs and who their sort of counterparts or the associations are, which is really fun. And then when it comes to the cards, so it has the title. Well, it has, so I think it has, I don't know if that's just like a key phrase or if it's like their own title for it. And then it has paragraph form. Then when it goes into the suits, wands, kind of talks about that. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then, so for like Knight of Wands is fire and air, Page of Wands is fire and earth. So it is interesting, but a lot of these is just really short paragraphs. And I like more. And it's interesting that it's for the court cards. They're smaller. They're shorter compared to like the others. So I don't know. Yeah, so this is just one that I just haven't read with. I do like I like the art generally, but not enough for me to, I think, justify keeping this in my collection. So this is one that I will be rehoming, and hopefully, someone else will be able to enjoy this deck in the way that it's meant to. I don't know if this is out of print or not, because I have not kept up with the artist. So I will leave, I think on the back here it showed like Instagram, and the website, but so I'll leave that in the description box below if you're interested. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if the creator is still putting these out, or if it's out of print. So, and that I'm not entirely sure, but I will, once I find out, I'll put it in the description box below. But this one will be sadly leaving my collection. I'm always sad when certain decks leave, because it's like I wanted this to work, but it just didn't, and that's okay. I've held on for it for long enough that it's just not meant to be, not meant to be. So, and it came with this deck bag as well. So out of all of these two are for sure rehomes. And then everything else is staying in my collection. Still trying to figure out if the Alcaringa Orion Mancy Oracle will stay or not. But yeah, that is this part of the series on my deck collection and decluttering. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a little bit better. I'm hoping this turned out better than when I last filmed it, because I don't think I want to film it a third time. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll leave in the description a list of all the decks that I talked about in this video, and if you can still find them or not. I'll leave my Instagram listed below, and I will start filming for, I think, part 3 or 4. I don't remember. I think this is part 2, but I don't remember. Yes, so I'll start filming for the next one. Jeez, okay, I'm struggling. I'm also hungry. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.